Good morning, Wind Chasers. Welcome to another episode of Chasing the Wind and a campfire conversation with Pastor Mark. Hey, I was thinking about something that has happened to me recently, and my doctor wanted me to go through a series of tests, respiratory tests, not for COVID, but because apparently I have trouble breathing sometimes, and I don't think it's because of COVID. I think it's because I'm out of shape, but we won't get into that right now. But anyway, I got a call back after going through these respiratory tests from my doctor's physician assistant or nurse or whoever she was. And she goes, "Hey, Mr. Hanson, this is so-and-so. I just wanted to touch base with you about your tests. And we just want to let you know you have a mild case." Crickets. Cheep, cheep, cheep. Nothing. I said, "Okay, a mild case of what?" She goes, "Oh, let me check." So she's thumbing through some, mild case of asthma. I'm like, was it a mild case of COPD, a mild case of asthma, a mild case of polypedia of the plunk? What does I have a mild case of, and do I need to be treated, and am I going to die because of it? Because apparently a mild case is better than, like, a deathly case. So I guess I'll take that. So anyway, got me thinking about a little bit from last week, talking about knockoff Christianity. But I wonder how many people are out there walking around with a mild case of Jesus or a mild case of Christianity. I remember several years ago I was pastoring and someone came to the church and she had some issues, but she says to me after church, I was gripping and grinning after church like I always do, greeting people, and she kind of pulled me, she goes, "You take this Jesus thing kind of seriously, don't you?" Well, that's what they pay me for, so, until they quit paying me to take Jesus seriously, I will. No, and I'm like, yeah, I do take this Jesus thing kind of seriously, because I think it's worth taking seriously. I wonder, though, today, how many people have a mild case of Jesus, a mild case of Christianity, just enough to get by. It makes me think of the rich young ruler. What must I do to be saved? What's the bare minimum? I don't want to go overboard on this. I don't want to be considered a Jesus freak. I just want what's the bare minimum I can get and still get in, that I can do and still get in. I think Jesus had kind of some fun with him. He says, "Oh, well, you got to do this, 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 and this." And he kind of knew that he'd probably done all those things. "Oh, wow, I'm in. I already did those." Yeah, but you lack this one thing. Sell all you have. Jesus hits him where it is the hardest. I was reading something in a book recently. It was talking about when we pass a trial, the reward is a greater trial. To him has been given much, much as expected. And we think about that when Jesus in the parable of the talents, they were given something. When they handled it well, then they were given something more to strengthen them, to make them stronger. Reminds me of a person I know, a friend of mine who goes to the gym but stops when they start breaking a sweat. Okay. It's like we stop. Sometimes we stop when with Jesus. Well, I got enough here. And, I just preached last Sunday on the parable of the soils, it's sometimes called, but it's the parable of the sower. The seed gets planted, it lands on a worn path, birds snatch it away. And then there's the seed that lands on a rocky soil, and it sprouts, but it doesn't last long. And then the soil, the weeds spring up, and most probably that's good soil, but it's just got weeds in it. So, a mild case of Jesus, a mild case of Christianity. I don't want a mild case of asthma. I don't want any kind of asthma, but I can live with it. I don't want to live with a mild case of Jesus, though. I want to be so infected, quote unquote, with Jesus that it impacts my life. I'd love for my doctor to call up and say, "You have something that we don't know what it is." It makes me think of that old song, "Doctor, Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you." I hope that would be the case, what I could say with Jesus. Do I have a bad case of loving Jesus? Because I don't want a mild case of Jesus. I want to be, I want to have a case of Jesus that is terminal. I'm gonna massage that a little bit here, work that out a little bit. A case of Jesus that I am so infected with Jesus that I die to myself. In Wesleyan circles, we call that entire sanctification. But God, you entirely have me. I surrender. You have all of me. I don't want to. I have nothing left. You're my hope. Cleanse me, wash me, help me to be so infected with Jesus that I reflect Jesus in my life. And that's what Paul says we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to reflect. I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, I want to be just like Mark Hansen. I want to be like, other guys on Drash Ministries, Andy Fraud or Bob Benson." And those guys that say too, "I don't want people to be like me." The only thing Paul said, imitate me as I imitate Christ. I want to be so infected with Jesus, so to speak. It's a metaphor. Give me a break. Be so infected with Jesus that is the disease I have, is that, wow, this guy, he's going to die of Jesus. Wow, that would be cool. Wouldn't it be cool to put that on your death certificate? What did they die of? Jesus. They were so consumed by Jesus that they gave their life for him. We're to die daily. You don't die from a mild case usually. And what's a mild case look like? I suppose it's where Timothy said they have a form of godliness but deny its power. It's a powerless Christianity. It doesn't affect or impact anybody else. I hope that my Christianity is such, my relationship with Jesus is such that other people would be infected by me. That no mask, no social distancing, no quarantining would keep me. And matter of fact, the quarantine hasn't kept me from spreading the word and sharing Jesus, because we're doing it right now. Maybe that's what Jesus meant when he said, "You will do greater things than I have done." Because Jesus didn't have this avenue by which we're putting the word of God out there. So I hope you don't have a mild case of Jesus. And if you do, I hope that it I'm not sure what the medical term would be. Morphs? Is that the word? I hope it grows and it gets worse. I hope your relationship with Jesus gets worse in the sense that it gets better. That you want more of Jesus and that you want him to have more influence in your life. Don't have a mild case of Jesus. You might as well not even have a case of Jesus. If you're going to go with Jesus, go all in. Go all in. So I hope you'll do that, Wind Chasers, because it's worth doing it. So keep pursuing Jesus. Keep pursuing holiness and a walk with him, because it is so worth it to do so. So until next time, Wind Chasers, keep chasing the wind, because the wind is chasing you. This is Pastor Mark. Grace and peace.